Welcome back to Dragoon X Omega 2. We are heading over to C. I shouldn't say fight. We're heading over to C, Saya, and the kingdom across the broken bridge. When we last joined our hero Sargon here, we had defeated the Varion and we had gotten the hover bike, the floater bike. Now, I originally took the hover bike to the southwest, to the next town over there where they were talking about there's a town on that side. And indeed, you can fly over that little bit of swamp to get there. But the divide between the continents is north of that, and you cannot get through the divide without getting the air key, although the game doesn't tell you that. It just says that a seal blocks the way. It's a blue seal. I have the sun key already, but I believe I need the air key to get there. So we're actually not going to head to the west right now, although I have gone to the west already to pick up the better equipment and items over there. We're going to head east. One of the ways that you can, no matter what kind of game you're building on a simple engine like this, is you can include backtracking in order to kind of flesh your game out a little bit. And it's not a bad bit of game design at all. So we're taking a look at, there's the broken bridge. Apparently, according to some of the in-game dialogue, Saya, the leader of that, the people across the sea there, destroyed that bridge on purpose in an effort to isolate that kingdom. They're trying to cut themselves off from the rest of the world. So it's our job to try to get over there. Now, if you were looking very closely, when we were over in the Marsh Cave, of course, it's the Marsh Cave. The Marsh Cave is surrounded by marshes and swamps. So an astute player would remember that. I forgot it on first glance, and I thought I was going to have to go right through the divide or come back to this part later once I could fix the bridge, because my mind is still thinking Final Fantasy 1, so I'm thinking about fixing broken bridges. Anyway, we actually are not going to do that. We're going to go over by the temple here, and we're going to get on the hover bike. The hover bike takes us across the marsh. This marsh, of course, normally blocks the way. You can't walk over this surface. And we're going to come at Saya's kingdom from the other side. And we have a new set of enemy encounters here. And these are, thankfully, they're more experienced than the monsters before. So because I'm power level, it's going to be a little bit easier for me now to continue to do so, to power level. That'll, of course, all be off stream or off record, just to save you, the viewer, the effort and time in watching that. I am really enjoying this game and this hack as we go through. It's interesting to see what these people have built from basically nothing, just using some very basic engines from Final Fantasy 1. And there's something that it reminds me of when I'm looking at the graphics and listening to the music, and it reminds me of professionally released NES games that we kind of think of as kind of junky games, like Home Alone 2 Lost in New York is one that I had. And listening to the music tones that they use and the sound fonts that they use, and also the tile sets here remind me of that. And I don't mean that as a slight on this game at all, because they wanted to rebuild this using existing assets. They weren't building it from the ground up like they did Home Alone 2. So anyway, here we are in Saya's temple, or Saya's castle. Nothing in that room. The door to the left of us is unopenable door. It's one of those locked and too stout to break. We're fighting Hexa. Hexa must be one of Saya's hench people. So here is Hexa. Hexa's going to take a few hits to bring down, although because my power leveling is there, it's just going to be a few hits. I'll take some herbs in between these fights. I get a bunch of experience, and yeah, not a lot of money right there. So Hexa, Deca, I see where we're going with this. Hexa being 6, Deca being 5. I wonder what the next battle is going to be with. I do like that theming. That's pretty cool. So Deca looks like he's using physical attacks, and Sargon is going after him with the flak gun. Again, a lot of experience and no gold for that fight. And Octa. All right, so Octa being 8. So we have 6, 5, and 8 for Deca. I guess is Deca 10? Deca must be 10. Bina, that would be 2. So I guess I have my numbers wrong. So we have Hexa 6, Deca 10, Octa is 8, and Bina is 2. Must be 2. I don't know why I thought Deca was not 10 there for a second. I thought it was 5 for a second, of course. That would be... I think we're in Greek, so it would be Penta. Penta would be the 5. Anyway, we're breaking down languages here, trying to get up to Saya. And Saya, we're going to have to take an herb, fill those HP up. And Tyrus is the only one who can wield the air key, so we stand in the way of Tyrus's rebirth. So here we go, the battle with Saya. So we've already seen Saya can use some strong Sai spells that we have not seen yet. I'm going to use Gene Rot. 62 is better than I'm doing with my gun, but not super exciting. I do have access to the level 4 spells there, but sadly those are both status or buff spells. Agnost does something to their Psi ability. It like damages their Psi ability. Must lower their magic power, I guess. And then Schism is a confuse spell, I believe. So there's Mirror. Reaction time up again. I think that is an invasion. And I'm guessing that's going to be physical evasion, so I'm just going to keep on my Psi spells. I burned up all of my Gene Rots. Now we're going to go to single targeting bolt spells. And they're actually doing as much damage, if not more damage, than the Gene Rot. So I'm wondering if Bolt maybe has a base damage that's higher, or maybe the intelligence stat actually works in this game, and it allows your first level spells to actually gain in their attack value. That's possible. I am not sure. Everything from this game, I'm going just by observations. So here's another Bolt again. Bioelectric damage. So Saya having a lot of hit points here, and it's taken us a while to wear them down. And he's doing really nice damage to us. We had to use that pill there to, looks like it works like a high potion or something to pop us up. So 2,000 gold, 700 experience, pretty nice. We are going to take an antidote to get rid of the poison. And we're going to heal ourselves up with the herb. And one more, there we go. And we are ambushed by the Cyanite. So Shadow, reaction time up. Again, I think that is just an evasion spell. And now, if this works on the same battle mechanic as Final Fantasy I, a battle that has an ambush attack or a preemptive attack, either one of those two, if it is possible to have those, then the battle is possible to run away from. So I'll say that again. So if you have a enemy formation that can give you back attacks or preemptives, then it will also be escapable. So no inescapable encounters can have back attacks or preemptive attacks. So when you see a battle like that, even though running is not super reliable in this game, you can indeed escape. Now, I'm not assuming that that is something you can do here. I'm assuming that if they use the same mechanics from Final Fantasy I, that's something that probably could be changed in a patch or a hack like this. But I'm guessing it probably was not. I don't see why the programmers of this game would want to change that, and so I'm just going to guess that they did not. And that battle formation, the two Cyanites, is going to be the same formation as the one that gave me the back attack before, I believe, unless there's two different formations that can still roll those same two. But I'm guessing not. I did a little time jump right there because it was all backtracking back to the big bridge that went to the north. So we came down that bridge, and we had to walk back across the inner part of the world map here. So I just saved us about 90 seconds of walking time. So if you want to imagine, we came down the big bridge at the beginning of this episode and went to the east. I cut us to the bottom of that big bridge, and now we're heading to the west across that marsh, and we're going to head over to the next town and to the Continental Divide. It's just called the Great Divide, I think, here, but I'm going to call it the Continental Divide. First, we're going to head to this other town over here, and then we are just going to unlock the other key. So we're not actually going to go through the Divide Cave in this video. We're going to be wrapping up here in just a couple minutes, but I do want to show off the dialogue and some of the things going on in this town. This is the town of Purgador, and this was the town that the people in the other town to the northeast let me know. That person named Tao, who actually has a name, says he works with all kinds of interesting artifacts, so if we have something that we might want to trade with him or have him look at, we should bring it back to him. So I'm guessing that he's going to become a little bit more important here in the later game. Merca is the land on the other side of the divide, and I'm wondering if that's a reference to the real world America. I'm guessing so. A boy named Skiffles was asking about demons and headed off to the east. That's not the first mention we've had of Skiffles in this game, but I don't believe we've actually bumped into him in the flesh. So now we're seeing a mostly destroyed city. Most of these doors do not open. There's a magic shop there. There are arms, armor, magic, and item shops in town here, but there's also lots of other buildings to give you the idea that this was a once thriving or flourishing city that has been destroyed by a flood recently. And the only buildings still standing are the ones that we can see right there. And presumably the only people left are just the ones who are walking around out there and those who are manning the last few shops. So the Divide Cave is up here to the northeast, and we're going to have to unseal it with our air key that we picked up from Saya. So Saya's gone, and the Cyanites are gone, at least for now. I'm not sure if we're going to be bumping into them again, and we're heading towards that continent of Merca. So as we are making our way up there to unseal that cave, that's something we're going to look forward to. What I'm guessing is going to be something similar to Final Fantasy I's world map opening up once you're able to get out of the inner Aldi Sea. I'm guessing that we've been in kind of a bottle here in the center of the world. I'm guessing it's going to open up. That's just a conjecture by me, that it would kind of follow the story beat in the event, is that once you get some key items, you're going to be busting out. There's going to be a couple of characters that we need to come back and talk to. One of them is Tao right there, and then possibly this Skiffles character we may need to backtrack and talk to. So right there, the way is blocked by a seal. I think the imagery on there is supposed to say air. And then your air seal crumbles before our air key, and indeed the way is open in the divide going up to Merca, the other continent, where things are dangerous and terrifying and evil lurks around every corner. That's going to wrap it up here for this, the third part of Dragoon X Omega 2. I want to make sure I get all that right. Dragoon X Omega 2, the wonderful ROM hack of Final Fantasy 1. If you like this video, feel free to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, give me the feedback in the comments or on Twitter, where I'm also active _ATE. We will see you next time.